So we are speaking with Bria Henderson. It's so lovely to have you. Thank you.
Thank you for having
Um,
me.
yes. I wanted to ask you, could you just give us a brief rundown of SideQuest?
Yes. Okay, so Side Quest is an anthology series that's kind
Mhm.
of like side pack or expansion pack is what they will
Mhm.
say of
Mhm.
the Mythic Quest universe. Four
Mhm.
episodes, they're all standalone, all different stories, different worlds, different characters. And I think it's a fun extension of the MQU,
Mhm.
as they
There you
call it.
go. Yes, I like that. The Mythic Quest is a great show. I'm sure
Mhm.
that this new installment in the Mythic Quest universe, like you're saying, will be another great addition. Can you tell me a little bit more about your character, Cherry, and what she's like?
Yes. So Cherry is this like no nonsense, very bossy, very protective comic book nerd. Like she
Hmm.
knows everything when it comes to it. She feels like she runs the comic book store, and she
Hmm.
doesn't. But she's
Yeah.
created like this safe haven and safe
Hmm.
space for herself and the people that she wants to be a part of it. But she's so fun. She's like loud. You know she's in the room. She's gonna make sure that
Hmm.
you know she is in the room.
A lot of
That's
personality.
Cherry.
All right.
Lots of personality. I love it.
That does sound like fun. So, is that what drew you to the project, or were there any other details you made you have to sign on?
Absolutely. When I had to audition.
Hmm.
So I went through the very standard audition process. And when I
Hmm.
got the size and I saw the description, I thought,
Hmm.
oh, this is very different and fresh and new. And I was honored that they even considered me for it, like to even
Hmm.
want to see a tape, see my interpretation,
Hmm.
especially since I haven't been able to do a lot of comedy yet in my career.
Hmm.
So I was excited. And comedy is something that I love. It's really my first home. And so
Hmm.
seeing that audition, reading the sides, I was like, I know this girl. Like, I know this girl. This is easy. I get to just have fun and play. And then, of course, it being with Apple TV Plus. Apple TV Plus is an amazing streaming service. I think they do a lot of very like different types of projects,
Yes.
and I think they explore every single genre very well. I've been able to watch all genres and find a show on Apple TV Plus that is like that nails it.
You're a
And
fan.
yeah, I love Apple TV Plus. So I was like, I get to check a lot of things off of my bucket list. I want to get into more comedy. This is an introduction to it. I love Apple TV Plus. Boom. So yeah, of
Nice.
course, it was a quick yes for me.
Excellent. And I have seen some of your work. I mean, like I first saw you on The Good Doctor. There's a little bit of comedy in there too, but it is
Yes,
more
there.
of
It's just
an hour
different. You
drama
know,
kind of
it's
thing. Dramedy maybe.
very much,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
very much.
yeah. Going back to Cherry for a second, since you're such a big geek, what about you and geek culture? Do you have any geeky interests yourself?
So, yes, and I'm proud to be a nerd and a geek in whatever, avenue I'm in. But for from elementary to high school, I was a heavy band geek. I played the
Mhm.
clarinet. I loved it. I used to audition for like all city band, all district band. I took it very seriously and I was very competitive in it. So I understood Cherry in that way of being the best of the best. I always wanted to be first chair clarinet. I was even section leader for like a couple years in marching band. So I still to this day, because of my music origins, I still have a love for the orchestra and love for live instrumentation as well, because I get it. And so, yeah, I'm
Nice.
definitely a band.
Nice. So, did you have to do any particular like research to get into the character to kind of like make this universe like your role in it makes more sense?
So when I got the sides and I saw that, like I did the scene, and then I had to do a chemistry after I did an initial self-tape for it. I heard
Mhm.
back and I had to do a chemistry read with Rome Flynn.
Mhm.
And in the chemistry read, like they loved my instincts. I had natural instincts to what else I could add to Cherry and to the world. I
Mhm.
feel like I think research is always needed for every role, but
Mhm.
then sometimes I think our own life experiences sometimes can be the main research that we use from our own toolbox. And I feel like Cherry allowed like the little Bria in me to come
Hmm.
out and have fun because I am very competitive in a lot of things. I'm not a comic book nerd. I'm not really into superhero
Hmm.
stuff as much as Cherry is,
Hmm.
but I love games. I love playing board games. I love game nights. Like that's when my inner Cherry really comes out. And so once I knew what the world was and what we were doing, not I didn't do a lot of like outside research. It was very much like, well, let's see the world that they're building and kind of taking from the mood boards and look boards that costumes had and like hair had and like really pulling it together. So I felt like I had these different puzzle pieces and then I got to add my own little puzzle pieces to the big picture as well too. So yeah, and then also Pinterest is great for just pictures and looking up
Hmm.
Black girls who love anime and cosplay and just kind of getting an idea visually and
Yeah.
how I could translate that visually to who this fully realized character was going to be. So,
Yes. I noticed, I
mhm.
did see the trailer, like Black nerd culture does seem to be a, relevant theme for, your character in that story. So, in your opinion, how do you feel like the entertainment industry has made space for, Black nerd culture or just like different identities in the broader sort of like media landscape?
So I feel like not to get too political in this way, but I do feel like everything's connected, like, and you can't
Hmm.
run from it.
Hmm.
I do know from my own experiences during the pandemic, Black Lives Matter, even though it was a movement before that, was
Hmm.
a movement that I think people could not ignore. And
Hmm.
because we could not ignore the Black Lives Matter movement, I feel like a lot of shows and programming started to want more Black characters and write them
Hmm.
in. And then not only bringing more Black characters into shows, but also creating more shows with people that look like us in it. And now, with the shift in what's happening that everyone sees that we cannot ignore, I
Hmm.
am seeing kind of a backing up of that a little bit where
Hmm.
I think a lot of us was sold a dream and a hope,
Hmm.
and we're starting to see that maybe that dream and hope was just a mirage because a lot of those shows and a lot of those programming that had more people that look like us and then other cultures
Hmm.
are gone. They've been canceled. They're not on the air anymore. And so I'm hoping
Hmm.
that there is still space for there
Hmm.
is, but I'm hoping that people do actually who have the power to allow it to come back, to flourish, to find the pockets where we can shine light on certain cultures and backgrounds and differences and really push the diversity of this world for real in the forefront. And media is that thing that kind of leads it. And so I am happy
Hmm.
that Mythic Quest and the team behind them and the producers and creators of Side Quest
Yeah.
allowed this to still come out and like still
Nice.
are like, we love this, we want to push this, and are
Hmm.
highlighting something that I feel like is not as trendy anymore to highlight.
I
So,
see. Okay, well, there you go. And with that
yeah.
in mind, actually, going back to the show, were there any, like a lot of really interesting characters and actors that are, in this broader, Mythic Quest universe? Was there anyone in
Mhm.
particular you're looking forward to working with?
Everybody. When I saw who was on, like in the episode, I was like, oh my goodness, I've watched a lot of these people. I'm aware of all of them. And just to be like, I was chosen to be in the room with these people, let's go. And not only it surpassed my expectations of what it was going to be. Like everyone talked about how quick the chemistry was built. We filmed that episode in 5 days. Yeah, that was just 5 days of shooting. So building these relationships, building this world and character, it was just like we're in it, let's go. And we actually enjoyed each other.
Mhm.
From Leonard Robinson is hilarious. And I feel like he
Great.
shines in this episode. He's so good. And he
Hmm.
is as funny on camera as he is off camera.
Hmm.
Shalita is a powerhouse. I think she does a great job of carrying this whole episode. And she knows she's an actor. And Ramon in my head is my real little brother in my head. Like seriously. We hit it off so fast, so quick. He is hilarious and so talented. And
Hmm.
then Stan from Abbott, I was like, oh my goodness, because I love Abbott Elementary. He
Hmm.
is such a sweetheart and such like he has such an inspiring story. Like his dreams are happening right now, and he's a star. He's always been a star, and it's
Right.
beautiful to watch it happen. And he's great. And also his scene with Melvin, Earl and Melvin, the game scene is
Hmm.
hilarious. And Rome as well. I did my chemistry with Rome, and I knew from the chemistry read that we were going to hit it off and nail it, and we did. And when you brought us all into that one room, it was like, let's play.
Nice.
So it was.
Nice.
Mhm.
So that sounds like you got a lot of heavy hitters. Speaking of
Yes.
interesting scenes, I was going to ask you, are there any scenes that really stand out? I mean, I guess no spoilers, but whatever. But any like scenes that stand out that you're like, I really enjoyed this, or this really stuck with me?
Um, I hate to say this, but I loved all of the scenes. I think we got to the producers hosted like a watch party for us last night. So we got to watch all four
Nice.
episodes, cast and
Nice.
crew. So it was all of us that were a part of it that got to just really enjoy it. And
Mhm.
watching it for the first time, I was like, oh my goodness, it surpassed like what I thought or how they were going to edit it. And I was like, this is really dope. I guess I would say two standout scenes would be definitely Earl and Melvin's game.
Mhm.
Hilarious. That little boy was so funny. And I feel like him and Stan, I was like, this needs to be a show forever. This is perfect. And then I feel like Shalita had a great moment with Janae when all ish hit the fan. I think
Mhm.
she delivered that very well. And because teetering the
Mhm.
line between comedy and drama is not easy. And you really have to know how to hold it and how to bend. And I think she handled that very well. So,
Nice. Nice. So then I guess one question as we're wrapping up. I got a couple more, but
no, keep
what
going.
is something that you want audiences to take away from Sherry's journey and your particular, part of the Mythic Quest universe in SideQuest?
I I like I said before, the teetering
Mhm.
between comedy and drama, I think that's one of my favorite genres, like dark comedy
Mhm.
or the dramedies. I love that.
Sure.
And I think
Hmm.
you find the right recipe, you can really do it very well. And
Hmm.
so not only will you laugh from the show and like just be entertained and have fun, but I think through Cherry and the other characters, I think if there's someone out there that has felt othered by
Hmm.
their own community or people around them and had to find spaces and pockets of the world that saw them for who they were and loved them and understood them. For me, it was like when you find those spaces and those pockets in the world with that's your safe space, like cherish it, protect it, but also don't repeat the cycle of othering others. And
Yes.
so I think that is what I would want people to take away from specifically Cherry's journey in the episode.
Nice. Nice. I like that. So one more. I did want to ask, since you have a lot of, irons in the fire, doing a lot of stuff, working actress, of course. Are there any other projects or any other things that you're working on that you might want to give some shine to as well?
Yes, so I also filmed a project with Khalil Joseph, Black News. It premiered at Sundance this year, and I think they're working on finding it a home for the world to see. I play
Mhm.
a very different character, another historical figure, but very different from Cherry. And I think I had a great time working on that. We filmed it in New Orleans a few years ago.
Mhm.
I have my own short that I EP'd and wrote and co-directed
Nice.
with my friend Vanna James
Mhm.
called Virginality, and that's on Quelly TV, which is a Black-owned streaming service.
Nice.
KWELI.TV, so you can check that out. And then
Nice.
I'm right now currently working on my own stuff to, produce a little bit more short films. I love to write, so I'm trying to bridge the gap with that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. I guess just finishing up. So last one. Is there anything
Oh,
else that you would want to say to, all the fans out there that have enjoyed your work and are looking forward to whatever's next?
I think it's so weird to know that I do have people that call themselves my fans. I'm just starting in my career for real. Like this is just the beginning.
Mhm.
But I am so grateful that I do have people that enjoy my work, that have followed the beginnings of my career. So I just want to say I'm grateful and stay tuned. That's what I'll say.
I love that.